Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the dark, dank. Okay, it's really not dank, but it definitely is dark. But welcome back to the basement where we're going to be working on some stuff. We got a big project coming up. Hold on a second. So we got a big project coming up. Probably this weekend, and I mean this weekend for me, not for you, because this will all be edited out. But so we got this water heater. Got the old water heater. So I'm going to have to replace that with this water heater, which is sitting right over here. Alright, couple things. The loud noise is the dehumidifier, which is right there. I'm going to get ready to turn on a second loud noise, which is the air conditioner, right here. Now the reason for the air conditioner in the basement, which is kind of odd because you would think you're in a basement, it should be cool, right? Because you're underground, that's how it works. But the thing is that I got a lot of electrical equipment down here, puts off a lot of heat, and so also the water heater itself puts off heat, since it's an old heater, and it's actually not that old. It's only 2011, I think. So 11, 12 years. You know what's funny? I'm gonna talk about this real quick. So these water heaters are the same. They're the same water heater. Check this out. So A.O. Smith, right? A.O. Smith. Okay. So they're both the same brand water heater. Look at the capacity there, 40 gallon, right? That's the old one. Now let's check out this one. 40 gallon. Another question would probably be, why? What's wrong with this one? Well, first of all, this right here is a problem. So this is the emergency overflow, blow, whatever. Anytime there's like a problem, it gets too hot, that's the pressure release. So what happens is, if your water heater malfunctions, if the thermostat's malfunction, elements malfunction, something like that, it gets too hot, that's the pressure valve release. So it releases all the pressure. That way it doesn't explode, turn your house into a bomb. So that is leaking. It's leaking to an amount of about a gallon a day. So we're losing a gallon a day of water. So that's one thing. Second thing is, it's not quite as hot, sort of. Doesn't quite, it just doesn't work right. So we got a new one when they were on sale. And so I got to replace that. As I was saying before, same brand, same capacity. If I measure this from the bottom to the top, it's 44 inches tall, right? If I come over to this one, measure it from the bottom to the top, it's almost 50 inches. If I measure diameter-wise, it looks about the same. So that's good, because I was worried. This one kind of looks wider. The new one does. But I'm pretty sure it's about 20 and a half, yeah. It's exactly the same. So somehow, I don't know if because they've insulated it better, and that's the reason why it's like that, why it's 6 inches taller, but the thing is taller. Since it's taller, I have to redo the pipe. Because that's the way it works. The old pipe is copper, and if it doesn't go in the exact same spot, it has to be cut out and redone. Since I have to redo the pipe anyway, I figure you redo the pipe in, sorry about this light. You have to redo the pipe in a way that's advantageous, whatever. That would make more sense. So here's the pressure release valve, right? And it runs right there. Don't worry about that electricity here. That's not important, okay? That is a GFI outlet, since it's so close to the water, even though it's on the opposite side of the wall. It's open right now, but so, if it gets wet, it's going to flip. It's not going to mess up the breaker or anything. But anyway, as I was saying, so that is the pressure valve release, and here is the drain. So what I'm thinking is, I'm just going to rotate, right? Just going to rotate this so that it's closer to the hole. That way, if something like this happens, it can go straight into the drain instead of, going all over the floor, which is sloped to the drain, but still all that would get wet. So I figure I'll just rotate it. The pipe will go right to the drain. Less of the whatever would get destroyed, And if we have an issue where the pressure valve release doesn't work right, it'll drain right into the drain, and I won't get my room, my studio room, which is on the opposite side of the wall, it doesn't get flooded, which would be terrible because there's a bunch of electronic equipment in there. All my electronic. The actual tank has to come away from the wall because it's actually setting into the wall, and I have to put a piece of drywall up in the wall, so that's going to shift it out another 2 to 3 inches. It's going to shift it out, and as you can see, that's like right where the drain is. So what's going to happen is I'm going to build a platform to set there so that the water heater can set up on the platform, and it'll leave that drain open so that stuff can go into the drain, because we have the dehumidifier sitting there, drain in there. That's the emergency drain for the basement. I think there's another one on the other side, but so that's important to have that drain open so stuff can drain into it. So what we're going to do today in this video, that had a longer introduction than the actual video will, is the building of this platform. So I'm going to build a little platform to get that off the floor. Now this is a side, but the water heater that I'm building, the water heater I'm installing is an electric water heater, and it's not a gas water heater. So your gas water heaters, I believe, are set to be like 18 inches off. These electric water heaters can set on the floor. Now you want to get it off the floor because, you know, if you don't, it can rust out. That's a thing. That's just an aside there. Alright, so let's get to building this platform. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to use to do it. I'm just using scrap to build it because, you know, money's a thing. So let's build this platform. Platform. I got some treated 2x4 sitting here. And I got 4 of them. So I'm going to use those 4 to build the frame of my platform. Okay, so first we're using scrap. So I'm limited by the size that I got, so I'm using the longest 4 boards I got, but I have to go by the shortest of the longest 4 to get my measurement. Now my goal would be the 20.5 inches, but I think we're going to be a little short of that. Yeah, we're going to be at 20 inches, so my length is going to be 20 inches. Alright, so I cut those boards. Things that are like this I tend to keep because sometimes you need little pieces smaller than this, like little pieces. So pieces that are like this, which I wouldn't use for anything, I always keep because I'm a hoarder. So I got my 4 boards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screw them together like this, staggering this every joint like that all the way across. That way I'll have an equilateral thing going on here. A cube, a square. Yeah, anyway, all sides will be the same length. So I'm going to go ahead and drill holes here for my screws so that I don't split this board. So I got my holes drilled, and I'm going to do that 3 more times. Alright, so we got our box. I need 2 things. I need the top to go on top, and I need legs to go on the bottom. We're going to start with the legs, because that is the easiest part. And I technically already got my legs. This thing's going to be overbuilt, but we're talking about 40 gallons of water, so they can be pretty heavy. So for my legs, I got my 4x6s, because I like using 4x6s. So I'm going to cut 2 legs. I got to figure out how tall I want to make this, and then we'll come back and cut our legs. Alright, so my leftover feet that I had determined that my height was going to be 8 inches. 8-inch feet. Bam. Right there. We got 4 of them. And they're going to go in the corner. 2 options. And I'm going to go with option B. So option A, I could just take the 4 feet just like that. And, you know, screw in screws. I'm not going to do it that way. Take my pencil and draw a line right there. I'm going to come to this side and do the same thing. Time to show you what I did with the feet, so that the weight is distributed actually on the feet instead of just on the screws. And I'm going to do that on all the feet. You also notice that where I did the joints, where I staggered those, so that was perfect skew. I'm doing the same thing with the feet. So this one will be swept this way, and that one will be swept that way. So that's, I don't know, it's just a stronger joint to have it rotated all the way around like that. I'm going to go ahead and complete the other 2 feet, and then I have to figure out what is going to be the top of the platform. So there's my platform. I screwed up on the legs, so I ended up having to do the, you know, not doing them the way I wanted to, but so it happens when you mess up. But anyway, listen to the wobble. The basement floor isn't level. What am I going to put on top? The top. Tippy top. Top tippy top. I mean, the best thing would be a piece of plywood. I might have a piece of MDF. Hold on one second here. Alright, well, there it is. There's my hot water heater platform. I just took 2, I had 2 1x12s. I cut those up, and they had slight overhang, but I just put them on there. I could have like cut it perfect, but it was. So anyway, there it is. It's screwed down. It's pretty heavy. I mean, it's actually not that heavy. Obviously not that heavy because I'm just carrying it over here in one hand. So stay tuned to the next video where I do the water heater. It's going to be a long one because I also have to throw in a piece of drywall that'll fit right there. I also have to run that wire through the wall stud there. Yeah, so see you next time when I try to fix something.